Have you ever felt that your life has always been different? As if something from the very beginning tried to divert you from your true path. The obstacles, the difficulties, the doubts. None of this was random. From the moment you were born, you have been in their sights. Not because you were weak, but because you have always been a threat to the system. Being a chosen one means carrying something that disturbs, something that cannot be molded or controlled. You do not fit in. You do not accept the rules without questioning. While most go on without realizing, you see what is hidden. This makes you a risk. This makes you the greatest nightmare of those who govern this game. Have you noticed how they tried to convince you that you were wrong? That you needed to be like others, to adjust, to fit in. But no matter how hard they tried, they could never erase what is inside you. You feel that there is something greater. You know that you were born for something beyond what you were taught to accept. Nothing that happened was a coincidence. The difficulties, the challenges, the pains were strategies to make you give up, to make you doubt yourself. Because if a chosen one discovers who they really are, they become unstoppable. And that is exactly what they fear the most, that you awaken to your true nature. This video is not for everyone. It is for those who have always felt that something was out of place. For those who, even without fully understanding, always knew that something was wrong in the world around them. Today you will understand the reason for all of this. I will show you the signs that prove you have always been in their sights. Because in the end, the truth is simple. If you are still here, it is because they have failed to stop you. Now, it is your turn to awaken. If this message makes sense to you, follow the channel. There are many other chosen ones who still need to wake up. And together, we are an unstoppable force. Since you were little, something inside you told you that the world was not exactly as they said. While others followed the rules without thinking, you always noticed that there were flaws in the way everything was conducted. It was as if reality had cracks, but no one seemed to notice. The people around you accepted everything easily. They believed what they were taught, followed the patterns without questioning. But you felt that there was something behind the curtain, something they did not care to explain. And more than that, you knew that it was not right. It was not a simple intuition. It was a code within you, a blueprint that came with you, something that the system could never erase. You were born to see beyond, to perceive what was hidden, and to question what has always been imposed as absolute truth. From an early age, they tried to convince you that you were wrong. They said it was all in your head, that you needed to stop imagining things. They made you feel out of place, strange, as if you were always outside of where you belonged. But their true fear was that you would discover the truth about yourself. You were never the problem. The problem has always been your ability to see beyond. You were born with a different vision, a mind that cannot be programmed. This is something that those who control the game could never allow. The system does not want people who think for themselves. It wants followers, predictable pieces on a board where a few command and many simply obey. But you could never just obey. You could never pretend not to see the flaws. That is why your journey has always been more difficult. Since childhood, you faced challenges that seemed disproportionate. All of this was part of a mechanism to try to break you before you realized who you really are. Because when a chosen one awakens, they can no longer be controlled. Every time they made you doubt yourself, every time they tried to put you down, it was an attempt to prevent you from accessing your true power. They knew that the moment you awakened, there would be nothing more they could do to stop you. Now you begin to understand. The difficulties were never a punishment. They were tests. The system needed to find out if you would give up before realizing your strength. But they failed. You survived everything. And more than that, you remain standing. The truth has always been inside you. What seemed like a senseless discomfort was, in reality, your spirit trying to break free. You were born to question, to transform, to build something that does not yet exist. You were born to pave the way where no one dared to tread before. If for a time you doubted yourself, now you know that you no longer need to. Every challenge you faced, every moment you felt lost, was part of your formation. You were being prepared for something greater. The time for doubt is over. Now you need to choose. Either you accept the truth and take on your role, or you continue pretending that you do not feel the call within you. But know one thing. Awakening is a one-way path. Once you see the truth, you can no longer ignore it. If this message resonated within you, it is because you already know the answer. You have always known. What remains for you now is to act. The world needs chosen ones who accept their purpose and use their power. And if you have made it this far, it is because you are ready. Have you ever felt that some people simply do not like you for no apparent reason? That even without having done anything, they avoid you, treat you with hostility, or seem bothered by your presence? This is not a coincidence. There is something in you that makes the masks fall, and not everyone is prepared for that. Many times, you enter an environment and feel the weight of the energies around you. You notice when someone is pretending, when the words do not match the intentions. And without even needing to say anything, your mere presence makes others feel exposed. They sense that you see something they are trying to hide. The world was designed for people to live within illusions. Most wear masks every day, hiding their fears, doubts, and truths. But when they are faced with a chosen one, those layers begin to crumble. Not because you attack them, but because your very essence brings to light what was hidden. Some people will feel an instant connection with you. Others, however, will feel uncomfortable. They may try to belittle you, ridicule you, or distance themselves for no reason. This happens because, deep down, they are afraid of what you do to them. You force them to confront who they really are. You do not need to say anything for this to happen. Your gaze, your posture, your way of existing is already enough. You carry something that cannot be explained but is deeply felt. Something that challenges the game they have been playing for years. The system is sustained by illusions. It needs people to believe in manufactured truths, to follow without questioning. It makes the majority live on autopilot, accepting without realizing. But you cannot be deceived. You feel when something does not make sense. You notice the contradictions. This makes you a risk, because an awakened person has the power to awaken others. And nothing is more dangerous for those who want to maintain control than someone who questions. Your free mind not only liberates you, but threatens to free everyone around you. Have you noticed how some people feel uncomfortable when you ask questions, when you challenge the narrative that has always been accepted? This happens because, deep down, they know that something is not right. But admitting this requires courage, and not everyone is ready to see what they have always avoided. You do not judge anyone, you do not attack anyone, but your existence alone makes the house of cards begin to crumble. Some people will hate this, others will feel inspired. Either way, your presence never goes unnoticed. This can be lonely at times. You may feel that it is difficult to connect, that few truly understand you. But this does not mean that something is wrong with you. On the contrary, it means that you are on the right path. You were not born to blend in. You were born to illuminate. Those who have the courage to look in the mirror will approach you. They will admire you. They will want to learn from you. But those who still live trapped in illusions will avoid you. They will try to discredit you, ridicule you, or even attack you. Not because you are wrong, but because you represent something they are not yet ready to face. And the truth is that you cannot change this. You cannot force anyone to see something they do not want to see yet. Everything happens in its own time. Your role is not to convince, but to continue being who you are. To keep living your truth. To keep seeing beyond. Over time, those who were ready will realize. Those who once avoided you may one day seek your words. Because the truth can be denied for a time, but never forever. So, do not worry about those who are bothered by you. This is not your problem. It is a reflection of what exists within them. You did not come to please. You came to show that there is something beyond the lies they have told. And this, in itself, is the greatest threat to any system that depends on darkness to continue existing. You notice things that others ignore. You feel what is not said, understand the emotions that people try to hide. While many live trapped on the surface, you see what is beyond. This has always been your greatest strength, but they tried to make you see it as a weakness. They knew that if you believed this lie, you would never use your sensitivity as a tool. You would never trust what you felt. You would never take seriously that inner voice that has always guided you. They wanted you to doubt yourself, because a chosen one who trusts their own instinct cannot be manipulated. Society values those who follow without questioning, who mold themselves to what has been imposed. Sensitive people are seen as a problem because they do not accept reality without first feeling it. And feeling means noticing the flaws, recognizing the contradictions, understanding the hidden energies behind each situation. If you have ever felt overwhelmed, as if the world were too intense, it is not because there is something wrong with you. It is because you were born with an enhanced ability to perceive what is around you. While others ignore, you feel. While others go unnoticed, you pick up on everything. For a long time, they tried to harden you. They said you needed to be stronger, more practical, less emotional. But being strong never meant ignoring what you feel. True strength lies in recognizing your sensitivity and using it as a tool to understand the world more deeply. Have you ever entered a place and felt a weight without knowing why? Have you ever met someone and within minutes knew you could not trust them? This is not coincidence. This is your sensitivity protecting you, warning you, showing you what the eyes cannot see. People who do not possess this perception may think it is an exaggeration. They live automatically, without paying attention to what is behind the words, gestures, and energies. But you do not. You have always felt when something was wrong, even without a logical explanation for it. This ability makes you different, and that is why many have tried to silence you. They did not want you to develop this because someone who sees beyond cannot be deceived. If you trust what you feel, no one can make you believe a lie. The world tries to teach that intelligence is only logic and reason. But true knowledge goes beyond that. It involves intuition, perception, the ability to feel what is not obvious. And this has always been a skill you possessed, even when they tried to make you disbelieve it. Now that you understand this, start to notice the patterns. Remember all the times your instinct was right, but you ignored it because someone said it was an exaggeration. See how your sensitivity has always been present, trying to guide you, trying to protect you. The time has come to accept this as a gift, not as a burden. Your sensitivity is not a weight. It is a compass. It guides you to the right people, steers you away from the wrong paths, alerts you when something is not aligned with your truth. The chosen ones are sensitive because they need to be. They came to see what others do not see, to feel what others ignore. This sensitivity is a weapon, a powerful tool that can be used to transform realities, to see the truth hidden beneath the illusions. Now that you know this, stop fighting against who you are. Embrace your sensitivity. Trust what you feel. What once made you feel out of place can now be the key to your true purpose. Because the chosen ones do not just see the world as it is, they feel everything that lies beyond the surface. You have always noticed that your way of thinking was different. While most were content with simple answers, you sought something deeper. You never accepted the first explanation they gave you. Your mind was always questioning, seeking to understand what was behind appearances. The world operates at a fast pace, full of distractions. Everything is designed to keep people busy with things that do not matter. The system wants everyone to focus on the superficial, to live without time to reflect. But this has never worked for you. You have always seen beyond, always noticed the patterns that others ignore. This ability to see beyond the surface is not common. Few people can free themselves from illusion and understand reality in its entirety. And that is exactly why they try to confuse you, to make you feel that you were wrong, because your mind is a threat to the system that needs conformity to survive. From an early age, you felt that something was wrong with what you were taught. While others followed without questioning, you felt that the rules did not make sense, that there was something beyond what they said was the absolute truth. You realized that the pieces did not fit together as they wanted you to believe. The system cannot allow too many people to think like you. If everyone saw what you see, everything would crumble. That is why distraction is essential. Manipulation is subtle but constant. They want you to get lost, to doubt your perception, to believe that your vision is a mistake. The good news is that despite all the attempts to divert you from your path, you are still here. You still feel that there is something greater. You still perceive the patterns invisible to most. And that means you carry something within you that cannot be erased. You came for something much greater than just existing. You came to transform. And this transformation is not just for you. It affects everyone around you. When you awaken, your energy influences others. Your vision opens doors for more people to see what has always been hidden. The chosen ones carry codes that activate change. When one awakens, they awaken many. Your mere presence can make someone question reality for the first time. You can say a single phrase that makes someone never see the world the same way again. From the very beginning, they tried to overload you. They threw doubts on you, made you feel lost, tried to divert you from your path, because they knew that if you understood your true potential, nothing could stop you. But now you realize, you understand that you were never wrong. That feeling that something greater existed has always been right. Your mind was prepared to see beyond what was programmed. And that is exactly why your journey has been so challenging. Every obstacle you faced was part of the test. They needed to know if you would give up before understanding who you really are. But now it is too late to stop you. You already know that you were born for something much greater than just following what was imposed. The collective awakening begins with those who see first. You are not alone. There are others like you, who feel the same restlessness, who realize that the world needs to change. And the more people awaken, the harder it becomes for the system to maintain control. They may try to discredit you. They may try to isolate you, make you feel that you are alone. But this is just an illusion. You have never been alone. The chosen ones are everywhere, waiting for the right moment to reconnect. Now that you understand your mission, everything begins to make sense. You realize that your mind is not a problem, but a gift. You see that your ability to perceive patterns, to see beyond distractions, is exactly what the world needs. Nothing can stop you now. They have tried everything, but you are still here, stronger, more awake. And if you have made it this far, it is because you are ready. Ready to be one of those who ignite the light so that others can see. ready to fulfill what has always been inside you. The collective awakening has already begun, and you are part of it. Life has never been easy for you. From an early age, the challenges seemed greater than those faced by other people. While some followed their paths without major difficulties, you always felt that your journey was filled with obstacles that seemed to arise out of nowhere, trying to prevent you from moving forward. Time passed, and instead of these challenges diminishing, they continued to appear. Moments of pain, loss, frustration, injustices that seemed to test you at every step. There were days when you wondered why things were so difficult for you, as if the universe were working against you. But now you understand. The world was designed to break you before you realized who you really are. From the moment you were born, invisible forces moved to divert you from your path, to distract you, to make you feel small. The system cannot allow chosen ones to awaken easily. The traumas you experienced were not random. They were part of the process of forging your resilience, of strengthening your mind and spirit. Each loss taught you something. Each disappointment made you see more clearly. Every blow they tried to use against you only served to prepare you for what was to come. They tried to make you believe that you were weak, that you wouldn't succeed, that it was better to give up. But you did not give up. You kept going, even when everything seemed lost. You rose again, even when they said there was no more hope. And now, you realize that all of this was training. Those who are not a threat to the system do not need to face great difficulties. They live comfortably, without needing to question anything. But those who carry something powerful within them need to be tested, need to be forged in fire, and you were one of them. That is why your journey has never been easy. The world tried to make you doubt yourself, tried to overwhelm you with fears, insecurities, and exhaustion. They tried to make you believe that it was not worth continuing, that it was better to conform and accept things as they are. But you were not born to conform. You were born to change, to transform, to challenge what was imposed. And the more they tried to bring you down, the more you proved that you cannot be stopped. You survived everything, and now you have become exactly what they feared the most: someone awakened. You do not need to carry flags or stand on platforms to transform the world. The mere fact that you are who you are already makes an impact. Your existence, your way of thinking, your refusal to accept the imposed lies are enough to make others around you start to question reality. Awakening never happens alone. When one person awakens, they provoke a chain reaction. A doubt here, a new perspective there. And little by little, what seemed unquestionable begins to crumble. That is why you have always felt that your presence bothered some and inspired others. And that is exactly what they fear. The system can handle an isolated chosen one. It can ignore them, discredit them, or try to suffocate their voice. But when many begin to awaken at the same time, the structure starts to collapse. And that is what is happening now. Your challenges were not in vain. They wanted to weaken you, wanted to make you doubt yourself, wanted you to give up before realizing your true power. But you resisted. You survived everything they tried to use against you. And now that you know who you really are, they can no longer stop you. Now the choice is in your hands. You can continue living as before, pretending that nothing has changed. Or you can embrace what has always been inside you and be what you were born to be. The world needs chosen ones who accept their purpose, who are not afraid to shine, who do not let themselves be silenced. If this message touched something inside you, if you felt that these words make sense, then it is because you already know the truth. You have always known. You just needed a sign. And perhaps this is the moment you were waiting for to accept who you really are. Now I want to know, did you feel this message? Have you realized that your presence impacts others? Comment below, share your experience. Your story could be what another chosen one needs to realize that they are not alone. If you want to continue receiving messages like this, subscribe to the channel. The collective awakening is happening, and you are part of it. Blast off.